In the second part of Introduction to Polymer Chemistry, we are going to study about important and biodegradable polymers. First is rubber. Elastomers are popularly known as rubbers. Example of rubbers are balloon, shoe sole, tires, surgeon's glove, garden hose, etc. Now we shall study how the natural rubber is prepared. The monomer used is isoprene. The IUPAC name is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. So here is the structure of isoprene. The methyl group CH3 is attached to the second carbon atom. The two double bonds are present between the first and the third carbon atom, that is why 1,3-butadiene. Di because there are two double bonds. Natural rubber has high molecular mass and also is a linear polymer. Formation of natural rubber takes place by addition polymerization. So the reaction involves adding up of isoprene molecules. So this is the reaction of natural rubber. This is one molecule of isoprene and the adding up of the second molecule takes place in opposite direction. Even the addition of third molecule is in the opposite to that of the second one. So basically when you are joining or adding up the molecules of isoprene, the CH to CH2 bond should combine together in order to satisfy the valency of carbon. When isoprene undergoes polymerization, you will observe that the CH2 group which are present on the left and right hand side are now in continuation. The bond which is outside the bracket indicates that the chain continues further. Also, the double bond which was there on the either side of the carbon has now shifted in the center because the valency of carbon is incomplete. You can observe it here. What are the properties of natural rubber? Isoprene, after undergoing the process of polymerization, is called as polyisoprene. This polyisoprene has cis configuration about the C double bond C. Cis configuration means having same groups on the either side. So here the CH2 groups are common on both left and right hand side of the two carbon atoms. Also it has various chains which are held together by weak van der Waals forces and also has a coiled structure. This is the reason rubber can be stretched like a spring and it has elastic property. Now we move on to the topic of vulcanization of rubber. In order to improve the physical properties of natural rubber, the process of vulcanization is carried out. In the year 1839, an American inventor, Charles Goodyear, invented the process of vulcanization. What is vulcanization? It is a process by which network of cross links is introduced in the elastomer. Once vulcanization is done, it enhances the properties like tensile strength, toughness, stiffness, elasticity, etc. The most commonly used vulcanization for natural rubber is sulfur vulcanization because sulfur helps to form cross links between the polyisoprene chains, which helps in improving the properties of natural rubber. Next, we move on to polythene. Polythene is one of the most commonly used hydrocarbon thermoplastic. The formula of polythene is CH2CH2. The bonds out of the bracket indicate that the chain is going to continue further, and N indicates N number of molecules. Polythene is of two kinds: low density polythene, which is also represented by LDP, and high density polythene, which is represented by HDP. First we shall study about the LDP, that is low density polyethylene. The IUPAC name of polyethylene is polythene. So whether it is polyethylene or polythene, you will write the same answer. So how is LDP obtained? Polymerization of ethylene is carried out under high pressure, which is in the range of 1000 to 2000 atmospheric pressure, and temperature in the range of 350 to 570 Kelvin. Small amount of oxygen or peroxide is used as an initiator. Initiator is a substance which starts the reaction. So we'll take the ethylene, treat the ethylene with the necessary requirements and the LDP will be produced. Why is it so that the polymer which is formed has low density? It is because the mechanism involves free radical addition and hydrogen atom abstraction, and this results in branching. So the chains are loosely held and the polymer has low density. Low density means it is going to have less weight. What are the properties of low density polyethylene? It is extremely flexible but tough at the same time. It is chemically inert and moisture resistant. Also, it is a poor conductor of heat and electricity and has a melting point of 110 degrees Celsius. Where do we use LDP? LDP is used in the preparation of pipes for agriculture, irrigation, domestic waterline connection, and insulation of electric cables. It is also used in the submarine cable insulation. It is also used in extruded films sheets which are used for packing purposes. LDP is also used for preparing squeeze bottles, attractive containers, etc. Now we move on to HDP, that is high density polyethylene. HDP is a linear polymer with high density due to close packing. Linear polymer means it is going to be in a straight chain. So how is HDP produced? So the polymerization of ethene is carried out using Ziegler-Natta catalyst, which is a combination of triethyl aluminium and titanium tetrachloride. The polymerization process is carried out at a temperature range of 333 to 343 Kelvin and pressure of 6 to 7 atmosphere. A catalyst is used to increase the rate of a reaction. Next we move on to the properties of HDP. HDP is crystalline in nature and it has melting point in the range of 144 to 150 degrees Celsius. It is more stiffer than LDP and has good tensile strength and hardness. HDP is more resistant to chemicals when you compare it with LDP. Next are the uses of HDP. It is used in the manufacturing of toys. It is also used in making of household articles like bucket, dustbin, bottles, pipes, etc. HDP is also used in preparing laboratory wares where stiffness and tensile strength is a requirement. Next polymer is Teflon. Teflon is prepared from tetrafluoroethene. So, tetrafluoroethylene is the monomer. After undergoing polymerization, it forms polytetrafluoroethylene, which is also called as Teflon. Tetrafluoroethene has the formula CF2 double bond CF2. So how is Teflon prepared? Tetrafluoroethene is polymerized using free radical initiator like hydrogen peroxide or ammonium persulfate at high pressure, which results in formation of Teflon. Properties of Teflon are: it is tough, it is chemically inert and resistant to heat and attack by corrosive agents. The bond between carbon and fluorine is very difficult to break. Hence, it remains unaffected even after the attack of corrosive alkali or organic solvent. Teflon is used for the preparation of non-stick cookwares, gaskets, oil seals, etc. Next polymer is polyacrylonitrile. The monomer used is acrylonitrile, which after undergoing the process of polymerization forms polyacrylonitrile. Polyacrylonitrile is prepared by using peroxide as an initiator. The formula of acrylonitrile is CH2 double bond CHCN. Polyacrylonitrile resembles wool. That is why sometimes it is used as a substitute for wool. It is also used for making of Orlon and acrylan. Orlon and acrylan are synthetic acrylic fibers which are used in textiles. Next are polyamide polymers. Polyamide polymers are generally called as nylons. Nylons are obtained by condensation polymerization between decarboxylic acid and diamines, or by ring opening polymerization by lactams. Polyamides contain CONH group as the unit linkages. There are two important polyamides, nylon 6,6 and nylon 6. First we shall study about nylon 6,6. As I told you, for the preparation of polyamide, a decarboxylic acid and diamine is used. So for the preparation of nylon 6,6, the two monomers used are adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. So this is the formula for adipic acid and here is the formula for hexamethylene diamine. So when you are going to mix these two monomers, nylon 6,6 is going to be produced. So we are going to carry out condensation polymerization by using high temperature and pressure. So we are going to take n number of adipic acid and combine it with n number of hexamethylene diamine. Now just combine the two monomers, that are the adipic acid and hexamethylene amine. Hence we will get, after that we are going to eliminate OH group from COOH and 1H from NH2 group, which means we are eliminating water molecule since it is condensation polymerization, because according to condensation polymerization we have to eliminate small molecules like water, methyl alcohol, etc. After the elimination of water molecule, just join the chain, which will give you the formation of nylon 6,6. Why is the polymer called as nylon 6,6? So if you observe the monomers, that is adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine, then both or each of the monomers contain 6 carbon atoms each. What are the properties of nylon 6,6? It is a high molecular mass linear condensation polymer. Why linear? Because it is in the form of a straight chain. Condensation because we eliminated water molecule. It is found to have good tensile strength. It does not soak in water. Nylon 6,6 is used for making sheets, then the bristles for brushes, surgical sutures, textile fabrics, etc. Now we move on to the next polyamide polymer, that is nylon 6. The monomer used for the preparation of nylon 6 is epsilon caprolactam. The epsilon caprolactam is heated with water at high temperature in the range of 533 to 543 Kelvin. Since the epsilon caprolactam is in a cyclic form, it has to undergo the ring opening polymerization to form nylon 6. So this is the structure of epsilon caprolactam. We are going to carry out the process of polymerization to obtain nylon 6. So we are going to write the ring form structure in a linear chain form. So we have the NH group, we have CH2 group 5 times and 1 CO group. Put these brackets and remove the bonds outside, which shows that the chain is going to continue, and write N, which means number of molecules are going to repeat. Nylon 6 is called so because there are 6 carbon atoms in the monomer unit, which is epsilon caprolactam. Properties of nylon 6 are, it has high tensile strength, also it has luster. Luster means shine. It is also used in the manufacturing of tire cords, fabrics and ropes. Polyester polymers are classified with the help of a ester linkage. The most important polyester which we are going to study is called as terylene or dacron. So the monomers used for the formation of terylene is ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid. This is the formula of the two monomers. We are going to eliminate OH from ethylene glycol and H from terephthalic acid, which means we are eliminating a water molecule and hence join the two monomers together to obtain terylene. Hence, we are carrying out the condensation polymerization at a temperature range of 420 to 460 Kelvin and using a catalyst, zinc acetate antimony trioxide. The properties of terylene are as follows. It has a high melting point of 265 degrees Celsius. It is resistant to chemicals and water. Terylene is also used in making wrinkle-free fabric by mixing it with cotton and wool. It is also used in making articles like bottles, packing containers, etc. Next is the Buna S rubber. Buna S is an elastomer and it is formed by the copolymer of styrene and butadiene. The trade name is SBR, which stands for styrene butadiene rubber. The copolymer of styrene and butadiene is obtained by using 75 parts of butadiene and 25 parts of styrene respectively, and then it is subjected to addition polymerization by the use of sodium. Buna S rubber is also vulcanized using sulfur. Sulfur helps to add cross links in the rubber. Buna S rubber is superior when compared to natural rubber in terms of mechanical strength and abrasion resistant. Abrasion is the damage caused to a surface by rubbing something hard against it. Buna S rubber is used in tire industries. The reaction for the formation of S Buna rubber is as follow. We draw the structure of styrene and add it to the structure of 1,3-butadiene, and then we just have to combine the two monomers that we have used. When you add up the two monomers, there will be change in the position of the double bond depending upon the valency of carbon. Next is neoprene. Neoprene is a synthetic polymer. The monomer used is chloroprene. The IUPAC name is 2-chlorobuta-1,3-diene. This is the structure of 2-chlorobuta-1,3-diene. Neoprene is formed when chloroprene undergoes the polymerization process in the presence of oxygen. Vulcanization of neoprene is done using magnesium oxide. Vulcanization is done to improve the properties of the rubbers and also to introduce cross links inside the rubber. Neoprene is resistant to petrol, vegetable oil, even heat and light. Neoprene is used in making the hose pipes which are used for transportation purpose. It is also used in making of gaskets. Neoprene is also used for manufacturing of insulator cables, jackets, belts for power transmissions and conveying. Here is the reaction for the formation of neoprene rubber. So we will take 2-chlorobuta-1,3-diene. So this is the structure. We will treat it in the presence of oxygen, which gives us neoprene. So even here there is change in the position of double bond depending upon the valency of carbon. We have to put the brackets and remove the bonds out, which shows that the chain is going to continue. And do not forget to mention N, which stands for N number of molecules. Last topic under this chapter is biodegradable polymers. Though polymers have a number of applications in our everyday life, still they are blamed for causing environmental pollution. So in order to overcome this problem, there are certain biodegradable synthetic polymers that have been developed. When natural waste is disposed, microbes attack it and convert it into humus. However, there are synthetic polymers and plastics which microbes don't attack and they remain in the environment for a longer period of time, causing environmental pollution. So in order to overcome this problem, biodegradable polymers are developed. The first one is PHBV. The two monomers used are beta-hydroxybutyric acid and beta hydroxy valeric acid. These are the structures of it. We have to eliminate a water molecule in order to obtain the polymer PHBV. So we will be removing OH group from beta hydroxy butyric acid and H group from beta hydroxy valeric acid, and then we have to join the two monomers with the help of the ester linkage, which is C double bond OO. PHBV thus formed is degraded by microbes. PHBV stands for poly beta hydroxy butyrate, CO beta hydroxy valerate. Next biodegradable polymer is nylon 2 nylon 6. It is a copolymer of two acids, glycine and epsilon amino caproic acid. Nylon 2 nylon 6 formed is thus degraded by bacteria in the environment. Here is a chart which shows the commercially important polymers. First is the Perspex or acrylic glass. The monomer used is methyl methacrylate. The polymer structure is given in that particular column, and the applications of acrylic glass is that it is used in lenses, paint, security barrier, LCD screens, shatter resistant glass. Next is Buna N. The monomers used are butadiene and acrylonitrile, and the applications are it is used in adhesives, rubber belts, shoe soles, O-rings and gaskets. Next is PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride. Monomer used is vinyl chloride, and the applications are water pipes, raincoats and flooring. Next is polyacrylamide. Monomer used is acrylamide, and the applications are polyacrylamide gel, and it is also used in electrophoresis. Next is urea formaldehyde resin. Monomer used are urea and formaldehyde, and applications are unbreakable dinnerware and decorative laminates. Next is Gliptal. Monomers are ethylene glycol and phthalic acid, and it is used in paints and lacquers. Lacquer is a paint which is applied on surfaces and it gives shiny appearance to it. Next is polycarbonate. The monomers used are bisphenol and phosgene, and the applications are it is used in electrical and telecommunication hardware and in food grade plastic containers. Next is thermocol. The monomer used is styrene. It is non-biodegradable, which means that microbes do not degrade it, and responsible for environmental pollution, thus it is banned.